Welcome to Ask the Therapist. I am here with Chase Brewer, member of our therapeutic team, and we are going to talk about how you can support your partner when they're depressed and burnt out. You ever feel depressed and burnt out?
There are occasions where I feel depressed and burnt out.
Yes. How much of that is my fault?
90%.
Okay. So you get depressed and burnt out. What helps you? What does your wife do that helps you?
What my wife does for me is she finds the time to come talk to me.
Yeah.
And asks me what's going on. We make that a priority, fitting that in our busy schedule. Because I have kids, and our responsibilities are to the kids and making sure that they are taken care of. We have work responsibilities.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take priority over not scheduling in time to where we need to talk to each other. So my wife will find the time to reach out to me and say, hey, I noticed that you're feeling down today. What's going on? How can I help?
Do you ever reach out to her if she's not seeing it, or do you take the initiative on that, or do you wait for her to come?
Me personally?
Yeah, you personally.
Yeah, no, I'll reach out to her and say, hey, you know what? I'm not feeling happy today.
Yeah.
I'm feeling discouraged. I'm feeling like I just want to just leave right now. I like go in my room and just stay there for like a couple hours.
And because I think it's important to ask, because oftentimes we're expecting our partner just to know, just to pick up on the signals. And sometimes they're lost in their own world with their own stuff. Other times they see that you're feeling depressed and burnt out, but then they may assume, oh, well, if they want help, they'll ask for it. So they just must need time right now. So I'm going to give them space.
Yeah.
And then people get hurt. Like, you could see that I was hurting and you didn't do anything. And so it's important to take that initiative. Right?
It is. I mean, that's one of the problems with communication problems, right? You should just know what I'm thinking. You should read my mind. That's not the case.
Being able to go up and saying, I'm having a hard day. And if your spouse doesn't know what to say, you can coach them through it and be like, so this is where you say, what do you need right now? Right? Or can I hold you? Or would you? I know if Alicia is feeling depressed and burnt out, the fastest thing I do is I get her food. Like that is the best pick me up. We're definitely foodies. We both get hangry, and we both not just hangry, but like if our blood sugar is low, it feels like the world is ending, and it feels like everything's hopeless. And so there are times when she is super bummed, and I'm like, I brought you sushi, right? Or let's go get some pho, or let's go get a burrito, and it really picks her up.
Right. So there's three things, right? If you're hungry, if you're tired, or if you're just having a bad day, and what's your mood like for that day?
Yeah.
How can you adjust meeting their needs in that way?
Yeah. So if your partner is hangry or anxious or angry or feeling depressed, if I'm depressed, especially if I'm clinically depressed, and I'm relying on my partner to make me feel better, and it's not working, they may feel like a failure, and I may resent them because they're failing in a duty that I never should have given them. Our role in a relationship is support. It's supportive. And sometimes you can't take things away. If I'm your partner, I can make sure you're not alone.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For me personally, what Alicia does is she'll ask me if I want to go to the gym. Because oftentimes, like, I won't make time for it because there's so many other things I have to do. But just going and hitting the weights, I feel the endorphins kick in. I feel such a boost. And I feel more confident when I've exercised. Like, I like to tell people to exercise for sanity, not for vanity, right? So it's a reset for me. She knows, hey, do you want to watch a movie? Do you ever watch Parks and Rec? Have you watched that show?
I have not.
There's an episode where Leslie, there's a character named Leslie and her friend Ron. For his birthday, he's very introverted and he doesn't like people, and he keeps telling her not to surprise him for his birthday. He hates surprises, and she does surprise him during the workday, because she's his boss. She sets aside a conference room with a TV and like the Dirty Dozen, like his favorite war movie, and like a giant prime rib and a glass of wine and mashed potatoes. And he gets to celebrate his birthday alone. And it cheers him up because he hates birthdays and he was feeling down. And it's exactly what he needed. Know what your needs are and communicate that to your partner. And if your partner's feeling depressed, asking them, hey, I want to be here for you, but I'm not sure how to do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's what works for us. But what would you say to somebody who asks you in therapy, what can I do when my partner's feeling depressed or burnt out?
One suggestion we would give is knowing your partner's love language. And if you're unfamiliar with what their love language is or what yours is you can go on Google and Google up a 5 love language quiz or test.
Yeah.
And whatever pops up, you can take that quick 5-minute assessment and narrow down what your partner's love language is and what your love language is. And so what are the love languages, right?
Quality time.
Quality time, physical touch, words of affirmation,
Acts of service.
and gift giving. And so you can connect with your spouse who is feeling depressed by meeting their love so that they can feel nourished.
And there's a bonus too in my life, which is food and getting stuff done, like being reliable, getting stuff done on time, right?
If we're talking about bonuses, we could talk about giving your partner space.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Well, and it stands to reason that if I'm feeling depressed and burnt out, feeling loved will help me to elevate those mood levels and find my hope again. And so I think that's great advice, knowing your partner's love language and speaking it. But we also don't want to assume, right? Saying, hey, it seems like you're feeling down. My understanding is that this would help you feel better. Is that what you need right now? And they could say, yeah, or they could say no, or they could say, we can give it a try, which is probably the most likely thing they would say. Like,
it doesn't hurt to ask. Your partner will guide you on what help they need.
Yeah. And sometimes they'll say, I don't know. And you're just like, okay, I'm going to shotgun a bunch of these and we're going to see what sticks. But, you also don't want to pressure them to have to feel better. Most people want to feel better, but sometimes, especially in the case of clinical depression, it's not going to happen. They're in the middle of a depressed episode, but they don't have to be alone during it. What do you do if you're both feeling depressed? I think if you're both feeling depressed
And burned out?
and burnt out, get some R&R. Honestly, I mean, this is just my personal advice. Alicia and I have been there where we both feel depressed. And what we both need is like, we'll get the kids to bed, and then instead of going out and doing something, we'll order food in. And I know people say, don't just sit and watch TV. Bull. Sometimes that is a beautiful thing.
Sometimes. And it's okay to be lazy.
If there's cuddling, if there's foot massages, like all across the board, yeah. Anyways.
One thing that I would add is something to think about, guys, is find the source. What is making you feel burnt out? If it's work related, right? Is it possible to unload that weight and responsibility? Cut back a little bit so that you don't feel so burnt out.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you're taking care of yourself, you're going to be more available for your spouse who is feeling depressed, right?
Awesome. Love it. Well, this has been how to help your partner if they are feeling depressed. Let's talk about coping mechanisms. And by let's, I mean I already did. Check out this video right here. If you are struggling and need some support and you live in the state of Utah, Chase is your guy. There's a link in the comment section below for a complimentary 15-minute consultation. If you live outside of the state of Utah, you can meet with another member of our team. There's a link below for that as well. As always, keep shining. We need your light. And here's the video I was telling you about. Check it out.